pleased to bring in now our senior judicial analyst, Judge Andrew Napolitano. Judge, good to see you as always. How do you think this will be decided, AP versus Trump?
Well, the initial case brought before a federal district court judge appointed by President Trump in his first term. That judge ruled against the White House and said this is punishment because of speech. You could kick out the AP if the reporter was disruptive, but you can't kick out the AP because of what her bosses decided, not even her bosses decided their speech would be with respect to the Gulf of Mexico / Gulf of America flap. Now that issue is before a federal appeals court. I think the trial court will be upheld. I think this is an issue of the freedom of speech, and I don't think the Supreme Court will hear an appeal from the appellate court. But we'll have a better indication for you tomorrow when we see how the oral argument goes today. The oral argument is on sometime today.
Yep. Well, we're seeing this illegal orders video on social media become a much bigger deal in the days that these senators have decided to drop it. Breaking right now, Department of War, I want to get your quick reaction, says it will review allegations that they say are serious against Captain Mark Kelly, and the matter will be handled in compliance with military law. But it says include recall to active duty for court-martial proceedings or administrative measures. In this post that just dropped minutes ago, it ends with a service member's personal philosophy does not justify or excuse the disobedience of an otherwise lawful order. What's at stake here for now Senator Kelly?
Well,
Judge Now.
A lot is at stake for Senator Kelly. His speech is probably protected by the speech and debate clause of the Constitution, which prevents taking actions against members of Congress for what they say. However, the Uniform Code of Military Justice does provide for his rank, which is captain in the Navy, that's the equivalent of a colonel in the Army or the Air Force, and above, to be recalled because of civilian behavior harmful to the military. There's two arguments here. One is that the order to kill these people in the speedboats in the Caribbean was an unlawful order, and that unlawful order should not be complied with. The other is if individual service members could decide which orders are lawful and unlawful, we'd have severe disruption in the military. Probably a court will resolve that.
Why do you think they're starting with Kelly? Because all 6 lawmakers have background in military or intelligence. Do you think that this is just the beginning of something bigger here within the parameters of, you said, the UCMJ? Well,
the UCMJ provides for Senator Kelly's rank and above to be recalled. If you were at a rank below that, if you were lieutenant colonel or below, you can't be recalled because of what you said. Also, some of the people, I think Senator Slotkin and 1 or 2 of the others, were in the CIA. There's no provision for recall. It's only the military above a certain rank.
Got it. Thanks for the clarification. Finally, in our last 30 seconds, another appeals court Saturday ruled against the president when it comes to these rapid deportations. Homeland Security had wanted to deport illegals who were in our country for less than 2 years. This court ruling, the administration has a hard time showing that didn't violate their 5th Amendment. Do you agree with this, and where does it go next?
So the 5th Amendment says if the government wants to take your life, liberty, or property, it has to do so at a trial. Because ICE has arrested Americans and people who are lawfully here, as well as many who are unlawfully here, the court says no immediate deportations. Everybody's entitled to a hearing. You don't have to prove you're lawfully here. The government has to prove you are unlawfully here.
Will be an appeal of it, though, as we usually see.
Sure.
Judge Knapp, great to have you with us.
Pleasure,
Thank you, sir.
Friend.
So if you haven't heard the big news, President Trump came out swinging over the weekend, taking to Truth Social, reposting Newsmax's post about lifting that TV cap, which would be a disaster for conservatives. The president agreeing with Newsmax's opinion. Here he is, president saying, quote, if this would also allow the radical left networks to enlarge, I would not be happy. ABC and NBC in particular are a disaster, a virtual arm of the Democrats.